Our top story at this hour. Protests have erupted across the United States over the acquittal of teenager Kyle Rittenhouse, who shot dead 2 people during last year's racial justice demonstrations in Kenosha City. From New York to California, more and more people continue to hit the streets. People were seen carrying posters slamming the verdict. Demonstrators said that Rittenhouse is guilty in People's Court. In New York, protesters marched towards the Brooklyn Bridge. Many of them were seen holding Black Lives Matter posters. Outrage has erupted over the verdict, which cleared Rittenhouse of all charges. The most serious charge that he was facing was that of intentional homicide. There are fears now that these protests could turn violent. In Portland, angry protesters cornered riot police in a garage. On your screens are the visuals where you can see heavily armed officers retreating. Among those who have urged for calm is President Joe Biden. He said that while the verdict has left him angry too, but the people must respect the jury's decision.
I just heard a moment ago.
Do you have any reaction?
I didn't watch the trial, so
Do you stand by your past comment equating him to white supremacy?
Well, look, I stand by what the jury has concluded. The jury system works, and we have to abide by it.
The protests are not limited to the streets. Several prominent people slammed the verdict on social media. American footballer Colin Kaepernick said that the system was built on white supremacy. The Black Lives Matter movement also echoed Kaepernick's sentiments, saying that the system has never changed. The Rittenhouse trial has divided the United States. While Republicans hailed the verdict, Democrats said that they feel disappointed. The verdict has reignited the debate over gun safety as well as vigilante justice. Just like him, Rittenhouse's victims were white, yet the verdict has sparked outrage over white privilege. This as protesters say that Rittenhouse would have been treated differently had he been a person of color. On August 25th, on August 25th in 2020, Rittenhouse shot dead 2 people during protest against the police shooting of a black man named Jacob Blake. He was underage at the time and said that he acted in self-defense. Let's now understand what exactly happened in the Rittenhouse case. The 18-year-old has been cleared of homicide and other charges. After hours of careful discussion, the 12-member jury accepted Rittenhouse's explanation that he acted reasonably to defend himself in that particular situation. Rittenhouse argued that he fired in self-defense after the men attacked him. Rittenhouse broke down after the much-anticipated verdict. He faced 5 charges, including intentional homicide, which carries a life sentence, and several related charges.
Just about 3 weeks ago. And I told you it could last 2 weeks and 2 days. This is 2 weeks. This is 3 weeks. You were a wonderful jury to work with. You were punctual. You were attentive.
Rittenhouse fatally shot Joseph Rosenbaum and Anthony Huber in Wisconsin's Kenosha on 25th August in 2020. Family members of the victims have expressed their outrage over Rittenhouse's acquittal, calling it a complete failure of the justice system.
It's hard to find the exact words to say in this type of situation. I don't think that any of us who were directly involved in what happened last year on the 25th are really that surprised. We know that this system is a failure. We know that the system doesn't serve people like us or really anybody who is not directly involved in the system.
The Rittenhouse trial was the first major racial unrest case to reach a jury since former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin was convicted in April for murdering George Floyd. On August 25th in 2020, Rittenhouse shot dead 2 people during protests against the police shooting of a black man called Jacob Blake. He was underage at the time and said that he acted in self-defense. Meanwhile, the self-defense law has time and again come under scrutiny over its credibility and how it can be used in court trials. Under Wisconsin's law, a person is permitted to use deadly force in self-defense if the threat that he or she is facing is equally fatal. In one such case of self-defense, a Florida jury acquitted George Zimmerman of all charges in 2013. This after attorneys claimed that he acted in self-defense when he shot an unarmed black teenager named Trayvon Martin.
Charge of murder in the second degree, and you are represented by
Consideration.
Don't take your time, and I know you got to make arrangements for everybody, and then we'll get the rest of the group in there, and I will take a short break. Okay, Mr. Romero, I got your.
WION World is One is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.